So we're going to do the windshield on this. We're going to lift up the wiper blade, get that out of the way. We're going to want to wash the machine. This machine's already pretty clean, so we're just going to clean the outside of the glass, making sure that there's no debris on the outside of the window. Debris will poke holes in your window tint. So we're just going to wipe the glass. After the glass is wet, we're going to take and just spray it with our soapy water. And then we're going to set our film on there. I'm just going to cut the liner a little bit to go around this wiper blade. So now this is in the rough position. We're just going to take a tool and we're going to anchor it to the glass. Just to take the spray and I'm going to mist the outside of the liner and then I'm going to anchor the film to the glass. And what this is going to do is it's going to set us up for the reverse roll. You want to make sure you kind of use your hand to brush out any big fingers, otherwise they will turn into creases. Alright, now that this is all brushed out and anchored to the glass, we're going to take our spray and we're going to lift the liner and we're going to gently mist the film. Now you want to be careful on these machines, especially if they've been used throughout road, not to rinse any dirt from the roof down into your film or your wiper down into your film. So I want to rinse and get this film wet, and I want to lay the liner back on there without touching like the roof then the film. So now half of this is laid, and I'm just going to take my mist and I'm going to rake it out so the liner is laying back flat to the glass, or back flat to the film. I'm going to come over here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wet all this again. You don't want any dry spots. And then you're just going to let the liner lay back on the film. Now that the liner's laid back on the film, we're going to do what's called the reverse roll. I like to start on the driver's side and roll towards the passenger side. It's up to you on how you want to do it. You want to make sure when you start your roll that you got your film and your liner together. And then you're just going to start an easy roll. I'm going to pick the film and get it away from the car now that I got, or the UTV now that I got the roll started. And I'm just going to roll it like this, watching to make sure that this edge becomes part of the roll. Not that it folds onto the backside or anything happens with that. So I'm just going to roll it gently. Film is fragile. Mishandling film will cause creases and imperfections in the film. So now we're going to get set up to go inside. The machine, I got my rolled up tint. I know it's going to be on this side. I put a towel over the dash because this is a customer's UTV and we want to protect his electronics and not have his dash full of stuff. I'm going to get the mirror out of my face. I'm going to take a non-scratch blue scrub pad and I'm just going to mist the windshield. Now I'm using a keg for this, which is a professional tint sprayer, but you'll just do the same thing with your spray bottle. Now you're going to take this and put it on the back side of your hand and just scrub the whole windshield top to bottom. And this is crucial to get the dirt off the windshield. So you want to scrub all this. And I suggest doing this twice if your windshield is very gritty. This one is pretty clean. I suggest using one of the single edge razor blades. So now that this is all scrubbed down, you can kind of run your hand over the glass and see if there's any grit. If you don't feel any grit, you're good for the install. We'll take and we'll re-wet, spray a little bit of more sub solution on there. We're going to take a squeegee and we're going to squeegee off all of that water, ensuring to not leave any bit of soap behind because that could potentially leave dirt behind. I'm wiping my blade each time I do a pass. And on this edge, I'm going to go straight down And then I'm just going to come across here, and I'm going to wipe each time. Now these Polaris machines, the windows are very flat, so there should be no shrinking. If you do get a bubble, you can take a little heat gun. Blow dryer will not be warm enough, and you can heat that out. I can kind of show you that if you do get a finger on this machine. So I'm going to do that twice. I'm going to rinse top to bottom. I'm going to not try to spray my mirror or anything affiliated that's fixed to the machine, because that could contain dirt and rinse it into my clean glass. If you want, you could take masking tape and you could tape off all that stuff so you didn't risk the chance of getting any dirt in your film. So now I'm going to squeegee it all off again, wiping between each pass. And then here around my opening mechanism, I'm just going to push straight down, wipe between each pass. And now I'm going to be ready for the install. So with reverse roll in the install, I'm going to hold the film in my hand. The liner is going to come to the back side and the film edge is going to be exposed. So on this, we're going to wet our window. Again, being careful not to miss anything that might contain dirt and rinse dirt into our film. I'm going to wet the whole window, and then I'm going to roll the liner to the back side of my film, exposing the sticky side. And I'm going to stick that to the glass without touching the headliner. Now the soapy water is going to allow you to shift the pattern around. So you want to get this kind of positioned in place. And then start your roll process. Now I want to get this all positioned. Now that I get it all positioned, I want to check for light gap and any trim work that needs to be done. Once you get that position and you know what you have, you're going to take and wet your film, and you kind of just want to brush it out with your hand, making sure that there's no big bubbles that are going to turn to creases. Once that's done, you want to wet the whole outside of your film. You're going to take your squeegee, start at the center, and start working out towards the outsides, left and right. And then once you got two passes left and right, you just kind of want to start working up and down, getting the film into its position. And you want to keep the glass wet, or the film wet. You want your squeegee to glide across. Push this out. We are getting a little finger at the top. It might come out with just time. You might have to take a heat gun to heat that out. We're just going to push all this stuff straight down. And once you got your initial pass done where you've evacuated most of the water, you're going to come back and you're going to do a harder pass, putting more pressure. And this is going to evacuate more water. You want to make sure your blade is clean, not that you're carrying dirt on your blade, scratching the film as you go across it. All right, that's an installed window. So we do have a finger in here. We're going to try to heat this guy out. I have a hard card wrapped with a paper towel. I'm going to take my heat gun, I'm going to put it on high, I'm going to let it warm up, and I'm going to hit that. And as it shrivels like that, it's going to go away. I have one right here, it shrivels, it goes, hit it, it goes away. You want to wrap that in a paper towel because you don't want to scratch your film. You don't want to do too much heat because it can crack the glass or basically melt the film. Wipe the inside of your glass, wipe the outside of your glass, look for bubbles or fingers, and double check your work.